Hello everyone, welcome to my channel India Gate. This is Nani Sharma, and in this session we talk about the operating system, which is most important subject and topic of the Scientist B and Scientific Technical Assistant A for Knowledge 2 post. Okay, so here I representing 60 plus most important MCQs in operating system. So let's get started. Here first question: which scheduling policy is most suitable for time shared operating system? So it is your round robin, because we know very well in the case of the round robin where is using the time quantum, so quantum time is also used. So due to of this reason we say that round robin is the best suitable and most suitable time sharing operating systems. Okay, so option B is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. There is giving the process state transition diagram of the figure representative of. So we found this figure and this process figure having which type of the operating system. Okay, so there are four options. Option A, a batch operating system. Option B, an operating system with a primitive scheduler. Okay, option C, operating system with a non-primitive scheduler, and option D, a unique programmed operating system. So it is very simple. We say that option B is correct. Why? Because here we know that in the case of the primitive scheduler, the transition from ready to running state also exists. So this is your primitive scheduler. Okay, now come to the next question. Which of the following is an example of spooled device? Okay, so here four options: option A, B, C and D, and correct answer is your option A, means a line printer used to print the output of the number of jobs, which is your example of the spooled device. Okay, now come to the next question. Consider and processes sharing the CPU in a round robin fashion. Okay, so this is the using the round robin fashion. Okay, assuming that each process switch take a second. Okay, what must be the quantum size q such that the overheat resulting from process switching is minimized, but at the same time each process is granted to get its time at the CPU at least every t seconds. Okay, so here we using only one terms, that is we know that here t is must be greater than equal to n into s, where s is your time switch taken a second. Okay, and q is your quantum size. Now here n is a number of processes, okay, which is representing here. After basis of this equation we easily find the what quantum size, that is q. So we easily say that option A is your correct, means q is less than equal to t minus ns upon n minus 1. Okay, so we say that option A is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. System call are usually invoked by using, so there are four options: option A, B, C and D, and correct answer is option A, a software interrupt. So system calls are usually invoked by using the software interrupt. Okay, so option A is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. A processor needs a software interrupt too. So it is also coming from the CPU scheduling. Okay, so there are four options: A, B, C and D, and correct answer is option C, obtains system service which need execution of privileged instructions. So option C is your correct. Okay, now come to the next question. A CPU has two modes, privileged and non-privileged. in order to change the mode from privilege to non-privilege. So there are four options, option A, B, C and D. So when we in order to change the mode from privilege to non-privilege, so we get here non-privileged instruction which does not guarantee an interrupt is needed. Okay, so option D is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Consider a set of n tasks with known runtimes R1, R2 and till Rn to be run on uniprocessor machine. Which of the following processor scheduling algorithm will resulting in maximum throughput? Okay, so when we need the maximum throughput, so which schedule algorithm we needed? We needed shortest job first. Okay, so option B is your correct answer. Now come to the next question here. Which of the following scheduling algorithm is non-preemptive? Okay, so we know that there is a scheduling algorithm two types, that is your preemptive and another is your non-preemptive. Okay, so here we easily say that FIFO, that is your first in first out, is your correct answer. Means here first in first out is your non-preemptive scheduling algorithm, but in the other case like round robin multi-level queue scheduling with feedback, it is the primitive type scheduling algorithm. Okay, so you should note this point. Okay, now come to the next question. Which of the following does not interrupt a running process? Okay, so here four option. Option A device, option B timer, option C scheduler process and option D power filler. So correct answer is a device. So device is never interrupt a running process, because we know that any the process performed in a device, so how it is being a interrupt. Okay, so due to of option A is correct. Now come to the next question. Consider the following statement with respect to user level thread and kernel level supported threads. Okay, so due to for this question you have to know the concepts of the user level thread as well as kernel level thread. Okay, so there are four statements are given. Statement first, context switch is faster with kernel support thread. Statement second, for user level thread a system call can block the entire process. And statement third, kernel supported thread can be scheduled independently. And statement 4, user level threads are transparent to the kernel. Okay, so these are the four statements and we found the statements. Which of the statements are correct or true? So there is second, third and fourth statement are true. Why? Because we know that in the case of the context switching, here fast context switching is faster with kernel support thread. No, it is false. Context switching is faster with user level thread. Okay, so we say option first is true, but in the case of the user level, so due to of this reason first statement is false and 3 and third also fourth is your true statement. Okay, now come to the next question. A process execute the following segment of code. So here for I is equal to 1, condition I less than equal to n, and increment the value of I, and here giving the fork function. Okay, the number of new process created is, okay, so here we found the number of new process, not the number of parent. Okay, so basis of the number of new process we need to 2 to power n minus 1. Okay, so this is your correct answer, means option C is your correct. Now we come to the more explanation about our question, because here number of processes created with will be 2 to power n minus 1. Okay, so basis of this formula we say that there are 3 process. Okay, if the value of n equal to 3, so we easily say that number of process, how many number of forks, so there are 7 number of created will be 7. Okay, so here option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Here next question is defined as a user level process in Unix trap. The signal sent on a control C input and has the signal handling routine that save appropriate file before terminating the process. When a control C input is given to this process, what is the mode in which a signal handling routing execute? So this is very nice question, and correct answer is here we use the kernel mode, and in the case of the kernel mode also the privilege mode is also work. So here option A and C both are the correct. Okay, now next question here, the process state transition diagram of an operating system are given as given below. Okay, so this is the process state transition diagram is given. Now we found that it is the which type of the operating system. Okay, so it is very simple and easy question. Okay, now here we found which of the following must be false about the above operating system. We found the false statement. Now here 4 statement. First, it is a multi-programmed operating system. Second, option B, it use primitive scheduling. Option C, it use non-primitive scheduling. And option D, it is multi-user programming system. So in this case, most of the students do this wrong work. What is that? Always they not recognize which type of the operating system and process state transition diagram is given here. This is your what? This is your non-primitive process state transition diagram is given. Why? Because we know that if the running to steady state having a transition, then it is your primitive. But here is no any transition, means there is no any transition from running to steady, so it is your non-primitive transition table. Okay, transition diagram. So we easily say that option B is your false, because it is used primitive scheduling. No, it is not used primitive scheduling, it is used non-primitive scheduling. So option B is your correct answer. Okay, now come to the next question. Consider the statement about user level thread and kernel level threads. Which one of the following statement is false? So there are 4 statements, statement A, B, C and D. Now here statement A, context switching time is longer for kernel level thread than user level thread. Now yes, it is longer for here time, basis of the time of the context switching is considered. So we say that here context switching time is longer for kernel level thread and compared to lower or minimum for user level thread. Okay, so due to of this reason we say that option A or statement A is true. Now come to the B statement. User level thread do not need any hardware support. Yes, it is not need to hardware support, because here it's work for the application layer, means your use interface level work. Okay, but in the kernel here the core or as well as hardware support is also needed for the kernel level. So here option B is also true. Now come to the option C. Related kernel level thread can be scheduled on different processes in a multiprocessor system. Yes, it is possible. So option C is also correct. Now here option D is given, and we automatically, if 3 option is true, so 4th option obviously false statement. Okay, so option D, that is blocking one kernel level thread block all related thread. No, it is not possible in kernel, but it is possible in user level thread. Okay, so option D is your false statement. Now come to the next question. Which of the following statement are true? Okay, so there are 3 statements. Statement first, shortest remaining time for scheduling may cause starvation. Second statement, primitive scheduling may cause starvation. And third statement, round robin is better than first come first serve in the term of the response time. Now here all the three statements are true. Now come to the next question. Let the time taken to switch between the user and kernel mode of execution be T1, while the time taken to switch between two processes be T2. So which of the following is true? So we know very well, if we switch from user to kernel mode, so it's take less time as compared to switches two processes. Okay, so here option C is your correct answer. Okay, now come to the next question. Here next question is defined as a computer handles several interrupt sources of which of the following are relevant for this question. So here some interrupts are given. First interrupt from CPU temperature sensor raises interrupt if CPU temperature is too high. Second interrupt from mouse, third interrupt from keyboard, and fourth interrupt from hard disk. Okay, so here asking question, which one of these will be handled at the highest priority? Okay, so we easily say that option D is correct, means here interrupt from CPU temperature sensor. If CPU temperature sensor is higher, so it's the bigger and highest priority based what interrupt. Okay, so option D is correct. Now come to the next question. A thread is usually defined as a light weighted process. Yes, we know very well about it, because an operating system OS maintains a smaller data structure for a thread than for a process. In relation to this, which of the following is true? So there is a four option. Okay, here first option, on per thread basis the OS maintains only CPU register state. Option B, the OS doesn't maintain a separate stack for each thread. And here option C, on the per thread basis the OS doesn't maintain virtual state. And option D, or per thread basis the OS maintains only scheduling and counting information. So we easily say that option C is correct or true statement. On per thread basis the OS doesn't maintain virtual memory state. So option C is your correct and true statement. Now come to the next question. A process execute the code. Here fork execute 3 times. Okay, now the total number of child process created is, so it is very easy question. Why? Because we already solved this type of question, and we know that here the formula for total number of child process is 2 to power of n minus 1, which is here total number of the value of n is what? This is your 3. So basis of we just put the value of the n 3 and we get the correct answer is 7. Okay, so 7 is your correct answer, means your C option is correct. Next question. A scheduling algorithm assigns priority proportional to the wait time of a process. Every process starts with priority 0. Okay, the lowest priority the schedule re-evaluate the process priority every t time unit and decide the next process to schedule. Which of the following is true if the process have no input output operation and all arrival time are 0? Okay, all the arrival times at 0. So what is true statement and true of the given following options? So there are 4 options. Option A, option B, option C, and option D. So we easily say that option B is correct. Why? Because we know that this algorithm is evaluated to round robin algorithm, and round robin algorithm is your best scheduling algorithm. So option B is your correct. Okay, now come to the next question. Which one of the following is false? So there are 4 statements A, B, C, and D. Okay, so here option A, user level thread are not scheduled by the kernel. Yes, it is true statement. Next option B, When a user level thread is blocked, all the other thread of its process are blocked. Yes, it is absolutely true. Okay, so this is true statement. Now next statement, context switching between the user level is faster, okay, than context switching between the kernel level threads. Okay, so option C is also correct. Now here kernel level thread can't share the code segment. So this is your false statement. So we easily say that option D is your false. Now come to the next question. Consider the following set of the process that need to be scheduled on the single CPU. All times are given in milliseconds. Okay, so there are process named like A, B, C, D, E. Arrival times is given 0, 3, 5, 7, 10 respectively, as well as here execution time is 6, 2, 4, 6, 3, also given in the order of process name. Okay, now we come to the what is question, which of the with using the shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm. Okay, shortest remaining time first scheduling algorithm, the average process round trip time in millisecond is what? Okay, so we come to this directly solution of this question. Okay, so we get after solving here arrival time and execution time, okay, using of the SRTF. Okay, so here the Gantt chart is represented. Okay, so basis of the Gantt chart come we totally calculate the turnaround time for each process name, like A having the turnaround time 8 minus 0, that is 8. Okay, for turnaround time for B is 5 minus 3. Okay, means your ending time minus starting time. Okay, so we easily say that it is 2, and as well as for C it is going to be 7. Now come to the D and E. Here it contains 14 for D and 5 for E turnaround time. Now here we found the average turnaround time. Now their total process name is 5, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so after adding all these and divided by 5, we get here total turnaround time, that is your what? This is your 7.2. So we easily say that 7.2 is your turnaround time. Now come to the next question. The maximum number of processes that can be in ready state for computer system with n CPUs is. So we say that here option D is correct. It is independent of the n. Okay, so option D is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Consider an arbitrary set of CPU bound processes with unequal CPU burst length submitted at the same time of the computer system. Which one of the following process scheduling algorithm would minimize the average waiting time in the ready queue? Okay, so we easily say that option A is correct, means shortest remaining time first. Here its schedule is also minimize the average waiting time in ready queue. Okay, now come to the next question. A critical section is a program segment. So there are 4 options. A, which schedule run in a certain specific amount of time. Option B, which avoid the deadlock. Option C, where shared resources are accessed. And option D, which must be enclosed by a pair of the semaphore operation P and V. Okay, so we know very well about the critical section is a program segment where shared resources are accessed. So option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. A solution to the dining philosopher problem which avoid deadlock is. So this is the most famous problem, that is your dining philosopher. Okay, now if we want to avoid the deadlock, so what we do? So here option C is best suitable solution, that is to avoid the deadlock. Ensure that one participant philosopher picks up the left fork before the right fork, and that all other philosophers pick up the right fork before the left fork. So option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. When the result of a computational depends on the speed of the process involved, there is said to be. So correct answer is option B, that is race condition. So race condition is when the result of a computation depend on the speed of the process involved. It is called the, and it is said to be race condition. So option B is your correct. Now come to the next question. Let M0 so on M4 be mutex binary semaphore and P0 to P4 be processes. Support each process Pi execute the following wait Mi wait M in the square braces I plus 1 mod 4. Okay, and so on. Release Mi, release M in bracket M plus 1 mod 4. Okay, this could causes, so it is caused deadlock. Why it caused deadlock? So it is very simple question here. Mutex is also given like 0 to 4 and process is also given to 0 to 4. So how it is not create a deadlock? It is obviously create deadlock. So option B is correct. Okay, now come to the next. Here more explanation about that. All process are deadlock condition is that not a single one process can enter into the critical section. If any process enter into the critical section, we easily say that there is no condition of deadlock. But here, not any single process can enter into the critical section. So, it creates deadlock. Okay. Now, come to the next question. Where does the swap space reside? So, correct answer is disk. Option B is correct. In the disk swap space resides. Okay, so it is very simple question. Now come to the next question. A computer system has 6 tab drivers with n process completing for them. Each process may need 3 tab drive. The maximum value of n for which of the system is guaranteed to be deadlock free is. So there are 4 options. Option A 2, option B 3, option C 4 and option D 1. Now come to the solution of this question for more understanding. If there are 2 processes, then each process will hold 3 tab driver. Okay, as there are 6 tab driver for which the system is guaranteed to be deadlock free. Okay, so option A is the correct answer. Now come to the next question. A system has 6 identical resources and n process computing for them. Each process can request at most 2 resources. Which one of the following value of n could lead to a deadlock? Okay, so there are 4 options. Option A 1, option B 2, option C 3 and option D 4. Now come to the solution of this question. So it is very interesting question here, and given n is the number of process and 6 identical resources, and we know that n is greater than 6 into, that is identical resources into 2 minus 1, which is your required. Okay, now we get here n is greater than 6, greater than equal to 6. It could lead to be deadlock. So no option match with n, so we easily say that none of these are correct answer. Okay, so here 4 options are incorrect. Now correct answer is 6. Now come to the next question. Match the pair of the following question. So here pair first and pair 2 given. In the pair first, virtual memory, shared memory, look ahead buffer and look aside buffer. In the pair second, temporal locality, spatial locality, address translation and mutual exclusion given. Okay, now the perfect match for the pair first to pair second is given. Virtual memory meet to your spatial locality. Okay, so we know about that virtual memory concepts. Here the spatial locality is used. Okay, now here second option B, shared memory. So where shared memory is your based on the what, that is your mutual exclusion. So A B meet to and match to S. Okay, now come to the C, look ahead buffer. So look ahead buffer contains temporal locality. So C match to P. Now last, that is fourth, Lucas side buffer. So Lucas side buffer is used in where address translation. So here D match to R. Okay, so this is the perfect matching. Okay, now come to the next question. Match the pair of the following questions. So there also pairs given first and second, and here critical reason is matched to mutual exclusion. Okay, so in the case of the mutual exclusion, critical reason is most important. So due to of perfect match for A to Q. Okay, now weight and signal. Okay, it's come to the perfect match to P, that is your horse monitor. So option P, B to P is perfect match. Now come to the next, working set. So working set is based on the principle of locality. So here C is matched to R, and deadlock is based on the circular fate. Okay, we also say that deadlock is based on the mutual exclusion. Yes, it is also possible, but here critical reason is not given for the circular weight. Okay, so here D match to S is a perfect matching. Now come to the next question, which is also based on the matching pair. Okay, so here in the pair first given body system, interpretation, pointer type and virtual memory. In pair second, runtime type, specification, segmentation, memory allocation and garbage collection. Now we know that body system is going to be your memory allocation. Okay, so A match to R. Now here come to the interpretation. So interpretation is going to where runtime type, specification. Okay, so B is matched to P. Now come to the C, pointer type. So pointer type is what? That is garbage collection based. So pointer type is related to garbage collection. So here C is matched to S, and virtual memory is based on the segmentation. Okay, so here D is matched to Q. So this is the correct matching for given question. Now come to the next question. Indicate all the false statement from the statements given below. Okay, so we need only the false statement. So there are 4 statements given. Statement A, the amount of the virtual memory available is limited by the availability of secondary storage. Yes, it is true statement. Now come to the next statement B, any implementation of critical section requires the use of an individual machine instruction such as test and set. So it is false statement. It is not based on the critical section requirement of the user individual machines. Okay, now here come to the C, the LRU page replacement policy may cause hashing for some type of program. Yes, it is correct statement. Now come to the statement D, the best fit technique for memory allocation ensure the memory will never fragmentation. No, it is false statement. So here false statements are B and D. Now come to the next question. Which page replacement policies sometimes lead to more page fault when size of memory is increased? So it is very easy. That is FIFO policy. Okay, first in first out. Okay, so option C is your correct. Now come to the next question. The principle of locality justify use of. So we know that the principle of locality is justify of the cache memory. So option D is your correct. Now come to the next question. In paged segmented scheme of memory management, the segment table itself must have a page table because, so we know that in the case of the segmentation and segmented scheme of the memory management, the segmentation is often too large to fit in the one page. So due to of this reason, option A is your correct. Means the segment table is often too large to fit in the one page. Due to this reason, here the segmented scheme of memory management, the segment table itself must have the page table. Okay, now come to the next question. A linker is given object module for a set of programs that were compiled separately. What information need to be included in object module? So here 4 options. Option A, code object code, relocation bits. Option C, name and locations of all external symbol defined in the object module. And option D, absolute address of the internal symbol. So correct answer is option C. Why? Because here if we need any information related of an object module, we need the name and location of all external symbol defined in the object module. Okay, so option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. The next question is defined as a ROM, read-only memory, is used to store the table of multiplication of 8-bit unsigned integer. Okay, so here how many bit used? That is 2 8-bit unsigned integer is used. Okay, the size of ROM required is, okay, so there are 4 options. Option A, 256 into 16, 64K into 8, 4K into 16, and option D, 64K into 16. So here we need only the 2 8-bit unsigned integer. So basis of the option D we get here 2 to power of 8 into 2 to power of 8. Okay, is it correct? Yes, it is correct, which is defined as here 2 to power of 16 into 2 to power of 4. Okay, which is in the form of the D. So we easily say that option D is your correct answer. Okay, so required size of the ROM is 64K into 16. Now come to the next question. Locality of reference implies that the reference being made by a process. So there are 4 options. Option A, will always be to be the page used in a previous page reference. Option B, is likely to be to one of the pages used in the last few page reference. Okay, and here C, will always be to be one of the page existing in the memory. And here option D, will always lead to a page fault. Okay, so there are correct answer for related of the locality of reference, which implies that the page reference being made by a process is likely to be one of the pages used in the last few page reference. Okay, so option B is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Thrashing. So it is most important question and most expected question. Okay, why? Because in the case of the thrashing it is most important for the operating systems, but here it is also required for the this examination. Okay, so there are 4 options given here. Reduce page input output. Option B, decreases the degree of multi-programming, and option C, implies excessive page input output, and option D, improve the system performance. So correct answer is option C. It implies the excessive page input output. Okay, so option C is your correct for the thrashing. Okay, now come to the next question. Dirty bit for a page in a page table. So what is the dirty bit? Okay, so there are 4 statements given. Statement A, help avoid unnecessary writes on a paging device. Option B, help maintain LRU information. Option C, allow only read on a page, and option D, none of above. But we know that dirty page is used for, and it helps to avoid unnecessary writes on the paging device. Okay, so option A is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. In a resident OS computer, which of the following system software must reside in the main memory under all situations? So there are 4 options. Option A, assembler. Option B, linker. Option C, loader. And option D, compiler. And we easily say that here software must reside in the main memory under all the situation. So here we need only the loader. Okay, so loader is the main software for the resident OS computer. Okay, so option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Which of the following statement is false? So there are four statements. First statement, a virtual memory implements the translation of a program's address space into the physical memory address space. So here you have to clear your concepts with related virtual memory. Okay, if your concept is clear, so you have to easily give the answer in just few seconds. Okay, here option B is given. A virtual memory allow each program to access the size of the primary memory, and here C, virtual memory increase the degree of multi-programming, and option D, virtual memory reduce the context switching overhead. Okay, so we need what type of the statements? We need first type of the statements, and here option D is false, because virtual memory reduce the context switching overhead. No, it's not reduce context switching overhead, and above three statements are absolutely correct and true statements. Okay, now come to the next question. The process of assigning load address to the various parts of the program and adjusting the code and data in the program to reflect the assigned address is called. So there are four options. Option A, assembly. Option B, parsing. Option C, relocation. And option D, symbol resolution. So it is very easy, because we know that relocation is used to process assign the load address to the various part of the program and adjust the code and data in the program to reflecting the assigning address, that is called your relocation address. Okay, so option C is your correct. Now come to the next question. Consider a virtual memory system with FIFO, that is first in first out page replacement policy. For an arbitrary page access pattern, increase the number of page frame in the main memory will. So there are four options. What will be happen if we increase the frame in the main memory? Okay, so here first option, always decrease the number of page fault. No, it is false. And option B, always increase the number of page fault. No, it is also false. Option C, sometimes increase the number of page fault. Yes, sometimes in the case of the first in first out scheduling policy and page replacement policy, we say that sometimes it increase the number of page faults. Okay, so option C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. Which of the following is not the form of memory? So there are four options: instruction cache, instruction register, instruction opcode, and translation look aside buffer. So we know very well here instruction opcode is not your form of memory. So it is very forwarded questions, and answer is also very easy. Now come to the next question. Which of the following requires a device driver? So there are four options. Option A, has not been used for the longest time in the past. Option B, will not be used for the longest time in the future. And option C, has been used least number of times. And option D, has been used most number of times. So we know very well about the device driver, always used for the most number of the times. So option D is your correct answer. Okay, now come to the next question. Consider a fully associative cache with 8 cache block. Okay, so numbers assigned 0 to 7. Okay, and following sequence of memory block requested: 4, 3, 25, 8, 19, 6, 27, 8, 16, 35, 45, 22, 8, 3, 16, and 27 and 7. Okay, if LRU least recently used replacement policy is used, okay, LRU policy is used here, which cache block will have memory block 7? Okay, so there are four options. Option A 4, option B 6, option C 5, and option D 7. Now we come to the solution of this question. So here when 45 comes, the cache contents are, so we get here 43, 4, 3, 25, 8, 19, 6, 16, and 35. If we use LRU, that is least recently used page replacement policy, array first element being least recently used. Okay, now here we get here 4, 3, 19, 6, 25, 8, 16 and 35. Okay, so 45 replaces 4. Okay, so after we replacing the 45 to 4, we get this array. Okay, and similarly we again get here 3, 19, 6, 25, 8, 16, 35 and 45. Okay, similarly 22 is replaced with 3. Okay, so we easily replace the 22 with 3, so we get this array. Okay, now here asking the question 8 hit in the catch, so there are total number of catches is 8 hit. Okay, and 3 again replaced with 19 and 16 or 16 and 25 hits in catch. Okay, so after the getting this array, we easily say that finally 7 replaced with 6, which is the block. Okay, so we easily say that option B is your correct answer. Okay, 5 is your correct. Now come to the next question. A page scheme used a translation look aside buffer TLB. A TLB access take 10 nanosecond and main memory access take 50 nanosecond. What is the effective access time in nanosecond if the TLB hit ratio is 90% and there is no page fault? Okay, so there are 4 options. Option A 54, option B 16, option C 65 and option D 75. Now come to the solution of this question. So it is very easy question, because we know that effective access time is equal to hit ratio into TLB access time plus memory access time plus miss ratio into TLB access time plus page table access time plus memory access time. Okay, now just put the all the value which is given in the question. Okay, so after the putting all the value, we get here 65. So option C is your correct answer. 65 is your correct answer for this question. In which one of the following page replacement policy Philadelphia anomaly may occur? So it is very easy, that is your FIFO, first in first out. In the case of the Philadelphia anomaly occur. Now come to the next question. The correct matching for the following pairs. So here list 1 and list 2 is given. Okay, so here in the case of the list 1, the data and contains disk scheduling, patch processing, time sharing and interrupt processing, and in list 2 round robin, scan, FIFO and LIFO. Okay, now we know very well here disk scheduling is matched with the what, that is your scan, because in the case of the scan it's the part of the disk scheduling and algorithm of the disk scheduling. Next is your batch processing is made to FIFO, because in the case of the FIFO or batch processing we using the queue, so queue is correct match for the your batch processing. Okay, now next time sharing. So time sharing is the most probable and 100% correct answer for time sharing is round robin, because in the case of the round robin algorithm we use quantum time. So here it is the perfect match for the time sharing to round robin. Now last is interrupt processing. So interrupt processing is your LIFO basis, means here using of the stacks. Okay, so we easily say that option C is your correct match, means here using of the A match with 2, B match with 4, C match with 1 and D match with 3. Okay, so C is your correct answer. Now come to the next question. In which one of the following page replacement algorithm it is possible for the page fault rate is increases even when number of the allocated frame increases? So it is also again come this question, that is your FIFO, first in first out, but asking manner is different, so you have to consider all the points. Okay, now come to the last question of this session, which is given here. In the working set strategy, which of the following is done by the operating system to the preventing tracing? Okay, so there are three statements given. Okay, statement 1, it initialize another process if there are enough extra frame. Statement 2, it selects a process to suspend if the sum of the size of the working sets and statement 3, access the total number of the available frame. So which is the correct for the preventing the thrashing? Okay, operating system to preventing the thrashing. So here we say that here statement 2 is your correct, because in the case of the it selects the process of the suspend if the sum of the size of the set working set. So okay, so only second is your correct. Okay, now we easily say that option B is your correct answer. I hope you understand all the questions. If you have any queries, so please comment me. Thank you for watching.